it's a me, a Luigi. It's a Halloween, a rumor and innuendo. And no, I am Dominic D'Angelo of adfreeshows.com, SEScoops.com, and OneTrueSportTV.com. But I'm with my brother, Mario. No, guys. No, it's Robert Karplis, WE Creative _ish. Robert, happy Halloween, man.
God damn it, Dom. I'm looking online. I go retweet the show, as I always do. And it says on there, rumor and innuendo, interview Brody King.
No.
That is how the show is labeled online. Clearly,
Are you
neither
Brody?
one of us are Brody King. So the interview was supposed to happen yesterday. Had it all set up. We're literally logged on. And as we're logged on, we get a ping, a phone call, a note from the folks at All Elite Wrestling. Tony Khan personally says, no, Brody's not available. We're going to have to reschedule.
Yes. And so I had to use the same feed for the Brody interview. I changed the title, but it apparently didn't change on Twitter.
Nope. Not on X, Twitter, whatever it is, but we'll say hi to some of the folks who are joining us here today.
Hey.
Ron Ward says, Gremlins ate yesterday afternoon's podcast. No, it was shredded in that bin by Brandon Cutler. Wrestling Old Head says, R&I, happy Halloween to all, but let's get back to business. Yes. Devin Dowling says, Double D and RKO, hell yeah. I like it. And then Alt Jake says, good morning, gang. And actually, I don't know if this will work. If I tilt to this all the way to the side, the jack-o'-lantern in the corner.
Ooh, very festive.
Very festive. I hate Halloween.
Do you hate Halloween?
Hate Halloween.
Do you have an all-time favorite costume that you've done?
As a kid, I did Raphael as the Ninja Turtle a couple times. I don't know what it was about the sarcastic jackass of the Ninja Turtles group that just it spoke to me.
Yeah,
I liked it. No, Halloween is fun when you are a kid. I think there are kids that just go like insanely stupid and annoying. I just don't like when kids are like people are like ringing your doorbell at like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Like when the lights are out, leave me the hell alone.
Yeah, there's a code that goes with the trick or treat and all that stuff. If the lights off, they're clearly not. They don't got candy for you guys.
There was, but this year, second year in a row, we are a full size candy bar household here.
Whoa!
Wow, yeah, we're really stepping it up. It's they took away my third hour of Raw, but these kids are getting a full candy bar.
Man, what a benevolent man you are, Robert. Benevolent.
Oh, and then Devin says, my last Halloween before our boy's born, gotta get drunk tonight.
Ooh, better.
Whatever you're gonna do. Oh, that is there were Halloweens, I guess, when I was younger but older, and you go out to Halloween parties and things like that, and that was fun. I just think as cranky old man methodology. I also love, because Dom, best producer in the business. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Does Rob Van Dam's podcast, does Straight Talk with the Boss, does Working Stiff. Underneath my name, it says Marcus D'Angelo.
What? Oh, hey, you're my brother. Well, I did say you were my brother, right?
So Marcus will be on tomorrow, I believe. Marcus is going to be filling in for me. I will be traveling to Manhattan to go see friend of the show, James Monroe Iglehарт's new Broadway show, A Wonderful World, in which he plays Louis Armstrong. He's the only Tony Award winner, to my knowledge, who consistently watches Rumor and Innuendo. So shout out to James, who's an awesome dude. He won the Tony for Aladdin. He was the genie.
No way.
And then was in Hamilton and Spamalot.
There's a new musical on Louis Armstrong, and he's Louis?
He plays Louis, and it's uncanny. I caught a clip of it. He was on, I want to say Good Morning America. I watched it. He was, you could close your eyes and it's him.
That's
like
fantastic.
It is insane. I love it. And Alt Jake pointing out here, even though I was Marcus D'Angelo, no swearing.
That's right.
Gosh darn it.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to talk. We got to talk about the Dynamite. It had a spooky name. What was the name for the spooky?
Fright Night Dynamite.
That you remember.
The Fright Night Dynamite.
I got it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Hey, it was pretty, I would say, maybe scary good. Robert, what do you kind of
have you seen the ratings? I don't know what the ratings are yet to say how scary or scary good this episode of the Dynamite may or may not have been. I would say scary competent.
Okay.
How's that? We'll take that. Like, we ask for storylines. We ask
Mhm.
for long-term angles. And if you watched the Dynamite last night, you got storylines and you got long-term angles.
Yes, yes, you did. Yeah, they did dot their i's and cross their t's a little bit here this week. Hey, and we talked about what they were going to kick the show off with. Sure enough, they did kick it off with a
That's
little
right.
bit of.
I like this comment here from Jeroy James, who says, because the ratings determine whether something was good or not. Not at all. I told this to Dom. I was off air. As a kid, I was a WWF kid, not a WCW Nitro kid. And a lot of those episodes of Nitro that would absolutely demolish Raw were
Mhm.
god awful. 2 hour, 3 hour unwieldy shows. And those Raws were great. So when I was at WWE and we had WWE 24/7, one of the shows I got to help produce was the Monday Night War show with Michael Cole, where we would literally show in its entirety the Nitro and the Raw. So you could watch both and judge, hey, yeah, the ratings may have said this, but which show was actually the better broadcast? And a lot of the times Raw was a much more entertaining show. It was a joke, Jeroy J, about the ratings.
That's okay. Hey, listen, we're all about people that can't see jokes or people that can see jokes because we're a bunch of jokes sometimes. But guess what? I don't know where I'm going with this. But hey,
I
we had
honestly wasn't paying attention to you. Sorry.
That's okay. John Moxley kicked off the show just briefly before Orange Cassidy interrupted their feed, their little invasion, if you will, to state his own thing. He says, "Hey, I'm not a leader, but you forced my hand, and now, John Moxley, I challenge you for that championship." New tone from Orange Cassidy. Still kind of kept it a little lighthearted at the end. What did you think of this new Orange Cassidy we're kind of getting, Robert?
So I like solidifying Orange Cassidy as one of the faces of AEW, and that he, like these younger guys, this is the future of the business, but they need to understand that Moxley and crew are dangerous and they're in danger. The problem I have with this promo, this was going great until this narrative of I need AEW. Moxley
Yeah.
doesn't need AEW, which means Moxley can go back to WWE. I can't go back to WWE. So this place better not go out of business.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I've said that before too, where it's just like I'm sick of this. Like, hey, let's do this company loyalty stuff. That like WWE used to do that a lot. And now AEW's really been leaning into this aspect of like the brand, the letters, everything like that. It's like I want more of Orange Cassidy being like, look, you hurt my friends, and I'm for my friends. I'm for the betterment of wrestling, and I'm challenging you, John Moxley. Why this whole company thing? I don't. You got to make me invested into AEW. You got to make me think about AEW in a certain way. These are. I'm more. We're more about characters and stars. We're not about letters. And I think they really need to veer away from that. But overall, I did like what Orange Cassidy kind of had to say in his delivery. Him not completely compromising himself in the character that he's developed, but still maintaining that. So I thought it was a pretty good balance for him specifically. Didn't like somewhat what was indicated about AEW, the brand, so to speak.
So the wrestling old head hits the nail on the head. He said that's TK's inner ECW fan showing again. ECW could do an us versus them mentality because it was a small independent promotion trying to hold its own with WWF and WCW, and their particular brand of wrestling, which was an interesting hybrid of lucha style and hardcore and technical wrestling, you were not getting on Nitro or Raw.
That's
On
right.
Nitro, you were getting I was. Oh my gosh, my mind went blank as I was in the middle of saying it was.
What's Creed?
You're getting John Tenta Big Bubba matches, and then over on Raw, you may get a British Bulldog main event push where they know that they're not really invested in them. And in ECW, they were trying to treat you like adults. It didn't feel like a TVG or TVPG program. The AEW us versus the world mentality would work if the alternative was also not servicing the same audience in the same way. So if AEW were to go away tomorrow, it would be really unfortunate that a lot of people would have lost their jobs. A lot of talent would have lost a platform, but the overall wrestling world would have found something else. They would move on to another promotion. Tony loves this idea of an us versus the world mentality, but it's very tough to paint yourself as the true underdog when you're a multi-billionaire on TBS and TNT.
Right, right. And I think there was a lot of expectations of AEW going into it, and they didn't live up to those. And now they're trying to make that comeback, and it's just like we're not. I'm not buying into the aspect of the brand. Yeah, you made a great point about it. ECW having that distinction and everything like that. So, yeah. But good promo by Orange Cassidy, I would say, and the crowd was into it. Uh, crowd was also into Adam Cole versus Buddy Matthews. They had a match. Adam Cole was hurt ankle, was nearly carried off, and went along with being carried off to seemingly end the match. But Buddy Matthews called him out, called him fragile, all this stuff that fired Cole up. He got back into the ring. He got the win, and then got the respect of Buddy Matthews and vice versa. So all is right with the world until Malachi Black appeared, and he might be the next opponent for Adam Cole, as they hinted on commentary. Robert, what did you think of this match?
So fine match. The ankle situation's they gotta stop that. They gotta stop
Yes.
that because Adam Cole was out while hurt, injured, bad ankle, previously the concussions. He cannot be the fragile boy. He needs to be back on a mission to go beat up MJF. We don't need to keep telling the ankle story. And to your point, he shouldn't have been voluntarily carried out and been like, yeah, you know what? My quest, my vengeance against Max was all well and good. Doctors, please carry me to the back. But now that I got called up by Buddy, now I'm going to go wrestle. And part of my issue with Adam Cole is he forgets his size sometimes, and he forgets selling. So he does his moves, even though his ankle was, near broken moments earlier. That was a little frustrating. I also think that Buddy Matthews is the guy they should be getting behind rather than Adam Cole. He's signed to the company. I think he's got a great physique. I think he's great in the ring. I think he's a more captivating talent. I don't like that he's being used as cannon fodder. And then when Malachi Black popped up, you see him, you go, that's an interesting looking character. I want to see more of him featured on AEW TV instead of just being the next guy to lose to Adam Cole. And Ron Ward makes a good point here. Somewhere, Mike Lawrence, my co-host on Working Stiff, is cursing Robert for using the good goddamn name of John Tenta that way. I like him. Big John Tenta fan. John Tenta versus Big Bubba.
Mm.
Some of the worst stuff you're gonna see when they shaved half of Tenta's head and they do the silver dollar match on a pole that was part of Bash at the Beach. No.
Doesn't sound appealing. Yeah, I'm sick of it. This is another thing, another crutch, pun intended, that the AEW kind of leads into is the aspect of, oh my God, this person's hurt. Let's get the doctor out here. Let's take a look at him. Let's see if he's okay. Is he okay? Oh my God. Oh, he's okay. He's gonna win the match.
You're going to always get that in some way, shape, or form in wrestling. I just don't think you necessarily needed it here. And the idea that Buddy trying to fire up Adam Cole, that he cares, he's part of a sinister Halloween coven of
Yeah.
evil, soulless monsters. We have seen what Buddy can do. We have seen what Malachi can do. We can't see what Brody King does. He doesn't show up for his goddamn interviews.
Dang
He
it,
will be here. His flight was delayed. It's fine.
It was not it. Yeah.
I'm being mean. I see House of Black and this world of stables, and I'm going, these guys they feel more credible than Judgment Day had felt when they were super spooky. They feel more credible than Final Testament has felt. They feel different than everything else you see on AEW programming. They can go in the ring. They're creative. Use them.
Yeah.
Instead, Adam Cole, I'm trying not to pile on him because he's very small and his ankle hurts and it will collapse on him. They do this backstage interview with him in the Undisputed Kingdom where they're still working on his ankle. Poor Adam Cole. He is hurt from trying to carry that relationship with Britt Baker. And you have the Undisputed Kingdom standing behind him looking, let's go with menacing. I don't, maybe, but
That works.
he keeps talking about the stupid devil storyline. I think we have all, as wrestling fans, made a silent pact. It never happened. It is filed along with the Black Scorpion. Eventually, in 30 years, Conrad will do a podcast about it, but we don't need to talk about it again. Stop trying to make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. No one wants to hear it. Let's just move on. And we moved on to Kyle Fletcher's new haircut.
Yes, looks like PC Principal from South Park, I believe. But I like this new Kyle Fletcher a lot. We got the return of Mark Davis, not owner of the Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, but what's the name of their team? Aussie Open. He is back, but he is not necessarily on the same page with Kyle Fletcher. Doesn't like what he's doing, and Kyle Fletcher warns him, "Hey, you see what I've been able to do now? I'm not against putting my past behind me." So liked this a lot, Robert. What did you think?
Again, good underlying messaging, good intent for this. A little too long. I think they could have absolutely tightened this up. I liked Mark Davis's line about, like, I don't know why you need a family. We had an empire.
Yeah, right,
That was
right.
kind of cool. The idea that, he's not embracing what Kyle did, that he's like, no, Fletcher, like, what you did is messed up, man. We had something going with Will Ospreay. I can't support what it is that you're doing here. I just think they let Fletcher go a little too long. They need to narrow what he's going to say, get to the heart of it, and move on. And then the worst thing that they did from a production standpoint, from a laying out perspective, is you have this very long promo, and then you immediately go to a Hangman Page backstage promo. And his
Good point.
backstage promo went like 3.5 minutes direct to camera, which is too long, and it was super wrestling cliche-y. You could have done that in 1 minute.
Right.
They're making this match. I know your game plan. You don't know my game plan. You've seen what I've done. Wait till you see what I do to you. Boom, in and out, done. But when it's like 3.5 minutes of fake wrestling voice, you get a little like, am I looking like, there's no crowd reaction to it. It's just him. And then you're looking at stuff in the background and you're like, oh, what are those pipes for? And those boxes and those anvil cases. I wonder if that's the one Jim Ross sat on when he signed Triple H, because it's all he ever talks about. It's little things like they're doing stuff correctly. They just need to be a little bit more concerned with the details. That's why we're here at Rumor and Innuendo.
That's it. I liked Hangman implying that he would burn down Jay White's house. It made feel more menacing, but yeah, a little long.
I think it's adorable that he thinks Jay White owns a house.
Oh, good point. He's a
I don't know.
rambling man.
He feels like a nomad. Like he's got a house, and you just kind of figure Juice Robinson sleeping on his couch.
Right. They're kind of like modern day pirates in wrestling, not the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Let's not
Hey,
talk about baseball ever again.
good point. Oh boy. John Moxley calls out Orange Cassidy
3
and
promos.
says, "You don't challenge me, I challenge you. Let's have a match." He wants to have.
Hey, Orange, you don't challenge me. So again, little thing. This is why I am the way that I am sometimes. And I've talked to folks who have been on WWE Creative before they've been on Creative, and they're like, dude, you're like, what's wrong with you? And then after they're like, oh, I get it, because you have to sit and justify everything. AEW doesn't necessarily do that. I used to do this all the time in another wrestling promotion that we're not going to say their name. Same thing. I'm like, hey, if we're doing this, what about this? And what about this? And what do you think about this? Last week, a week ago, when we talked about the Dynamite, there was a whole horde of people waiting outside to ensure the dastardly Blackpool Combat Club did not get into the building. This week, they have a locker room. They were there all day. They may have been in catering. They may have gone to go sign the autographs at the merch table.
Meet and greet.
Went to the trainer, did a meet and greet. Nobody's attacking them. Nobody's like storming them with pitchforks and flaming torches.
Come on in.
Like, take that moment. Moxley's promo, with the exception of using the word valley a lot. I'm going to drag you down to the valley, and then we're going to be in the valley, and Bayside's going to lose to Valley.
Yeah.
You're like, cool. The promo of I'm the one that manipulated you into making you think that you were challenging me. Love it. Sold American style. The folks that came out to go save Orange Cassidy when he tried to save Yuta, it's, you have the Dark Order, who are goofs. Darby rappelling down, fine. But when he couldn't get the harness off, may have been the funniest thing I've seen all year.
Could have maybe took the camera off him.
You maybe don't show Alex Reynolds desperately trying to unclasp his friend. And then Blackpool Combat Club leave. You need to make this effective by having like 40 guys coming out there and running out, or at the very least, another little production thing. Orange Cassidy's in a group called the Conglomeration. They were there in an interview later on in the show. Where was Kyle O'Reilly and Ishii and Mark Briscoe?
Yeah, it's a good point. Where were they? You know, to your point, it's like you have the Goof Troop and Dark Order and the lower card guys come on out, and it's just like it doesn't make it feel that big of a deal. Like it doesn't. You want this Moxley group to be ruthless. I did like the aspect of them like almost sacrificing Wheeler Utah just to get a point across to Orange Cassidy. I thought that was really cool. But it's like you want to elevate these games. To your point, what you said like last week, I think it was like take the mask off of Evil Uno, yeah,
I thought they were going to break John Silver's arm, and I'm like, that would have been cool. There has to be a legitimate feeling of danger and chaos as opposed to just guys being in a stable.
We got a little bit of that later on, but they need to do more. They need to do a little bit more with this stuff. We had the tag team championship match. Young Bucks versus Private Party for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Robert, you were pretty self-assured yesterday about what the outcome was going to be, and didn't happen that way.
Because Tony Khan is going the Vince Russo thing of, it's a swerve, bro. They set up every beat for this to make sense and be tremendous. And I was going to come on here today and say, home run, grand slam, love it. You had the Private Party segment a week ago with Stokely Hathaway teasing Isaiah's the star and Mark Quinn is the other one, and that they should be separated. And then you have Isaiah challenging the Bucks and saying, if we lose, we're going to break up. And then Mark Quinn's like, wait, what?
Hey,
You're teasing it all week. You have the match. During the match, Kazuchika Okada escapes from the Wardlow void of where are you, lays out Mark Quinn. So you have Isaiah alone in a 2-on-1 situation, gallantly fighting. That is the situation where he would have lost, and then he would have been angry at his partner for leaving him high and dry. You put Isaiah with Stokely Hathaway. You now have a fun mid-card heel. Mark Quinn can now not only be a babyface who's angry about what happened, he can go after Okada and be a challenger for the Continental title. I'm going, they're setting so much stuff. Oh, wait, no, they went the other way. And Private Party are now the tag champions, even though you have all these seeds planted of, are they really going to even endure? And then the Bucks giving them the belts and being like, great job, guys, to further that storyline that we got to in the back. It felt like a swerve for the sake of swerves. And I said before, sometimes when you expect something and it happens, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
We decided to get something kind of like, whoa. It's fine. Private Party are the tag champs. But do you feel like when their first defense happens, that could be a main event?
Yeah, no, I think that's got some work to do. Definitely has some work to do. You could, if you broke them up, you could make them their own single stars in certain ways. But I'm not necessarily against them being the tag team championships. I think champions. I think the Young Bucks needed to lose those titles because they weren't doing anything with them.
And they needed to lose them because there's some story going on.
Yes,
this is where we're getting the big flashing story
aspect, and we saw a little bit of that.
Papers being shredded. So there's a mystery why the Bucks seem so happy to have lost the tag titles, why they're shredding documents, why they're trying to get the hell out of there. Christopher Daniels. I love Christopher Daniels. Been around for 25 years. An all-timer. Amazing guy. No one has a bad thing to say about him. His acting during that segment with the Young Bucks may have been the worst acting I've ever seen in my entire life. We need you guys. Damn it. Like he makes Adam Pearce look good. It's the meanest thing I've ever said about somebody.
Big Packers fan, Adam Pearce.
That's what matters. But yeah, so we'll see what the papers were for. And then the papers were clipped to Brandon Cutler's wrists. And then the Blackpool Combat Club took the papers. So I'm guessing they're going to go bring them to Shane McMahon, who's going to reincorporate the company in Jeddah. And it's going to be an international entity. I don't know what's going on. At least they're trying to tell a story. It's fine. We've got 5 minutes left. We got to plow through the rest. Camille and Chris Statlander.
Yes.
Camille has a great look.
She does.
She looks like a star.
Hmm. Road Warrior-esque today. This last time.
Little rough in the ring.
Okay.
Little too left feet at certain points, but that's because you can't just not use her, not let her wrestle, and then put her out there for like a 12, 13-minute match with Chris Statlander.
Sure.
She's great if you want to use her for 1.5 minute, 2 minute squashes. She fills the Jade Cargill void of, my God, look at this person. That is an airport test, litmus test right there. I would not have necessarily beaten her clean. I would
No.
not have teased a Mercedes Camille split this early on into this partnership.
Very quick.
I don't know. Maybe this is anyone that gets involved in Chris Statlander, their storylines immediately change. Maybe that's her new gimmick.
Get near, things will change for you.
Yes. Next week she wrestles Evil Uno. 2 weeks later, he's a chef. We don't know. Main event: Swerve and Shelton Benjamin.
Yes, Robert. What'd you think? This was a dream match for you. Did it live up to your dreams?
Dude, it was awesome. I thought they looked athletic. I thought that they looked main event worthy. Mm-hmm. They felt different than everything else we saw on the show. There was tremendous athleticism. A little surprised that Swerve won, but that's okay because it was pretty decent back and forth match, and Swerve is a former world champion, so it's not like Shelton got his lunch eaten 30 seconds in. At the same time, when MVP picks up the phone and calls Lashley, and Lashley comes through the center as opposed to the tunnels, he looked like a big star. He stepped into that ring, him and Swerve face to face. That felt like a main event program. And the Hurt Business closing out the show, brushing off security, leaving Swerve and Nana broken in the middle of the ring. I'm going, that is your top dominant heel faction in the company.
Right. It looked good. Good visual. Awesome to have Lashley in the mix. I love Shelton Benjamin and this new vibe he's given off with this new intensity kind of thing and stuff. Not too bummed that he lost, I guess, too. I'm okay with that because Swerve's a former world champ. So I think there's some really good things that come with this. And overall, I thought it was a good show. I thought yes, to what we've been saying too, there's just a lot of stuff that still needs tightened up when it comes to pacing and everything like that. But at least we're getting some stories. At least we're getting some stuff going on. And I think that's
we're getting stories. We're getting stories, and every segment has a purpose. Those are the big things that I have been critical of, that I'm saying growth and maturity on, which I absolutely love. It's not, here's an 8-man tag for the sake of, it'd be cool to have an 8-man tag. You notice one thing we did not talk about was the Jericho segment, because the second he mentioned Meltzer's star ratings, my brain just went, nope, I'm leaving.
I was entertained by it.
Of course you were. You're a sick, terrible man. We're not going to get a chance to get to the other big story of the day, which is that Rhea Ripley, apparently, according to Dave Meltzer at the Wrestling Observer, Chris Jericho's friend, Rhea Ripley is legitimately dealing with a fractured orbital bone and will be sidelined for the foreseeable future, although she could potentially return at a non-physical role before being cleared for competition. WWE often opts to keep talent off screen until they are fully recovered. We know that she got jumped at the NXT taping. Now it makes a little bit more sense why she was left bloodied and broken. So now there is the opening there for Liv to be able to claim another victory over Rhea on her revenge tour. I don't know how long it takes to fix an orbital bone. That sounds like it sucks.
Yeah.
My hope is that she gets to come back wearing that cool Undertaker Phantom mask.
Ooh, that would be sweet.
That would be badass. You know what's also badass, guys? The new episode of Working Stiff should be up right now. If it's not ready, it's in your inbox, Tom, if you haven't posted it yet. Myself and Scott Chaplin talk all things World of Wrestling. We talk a little bit of Broadway for some weird reason. We went on some tangents. We had a grand old time. We have a grand old time every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern. I will not be here tomorrow, but you will have a special guest host.
Yes, I will have my legitimate brother, Marcus D'Angelo, who's making his pro wrestling debut this weekend for IWC, International Wrestling Cartel, out of Pittsburgh. Very excited. So we'll get a little insight from him. He'll give us some details about his journey, and I'm very happy for him. So we'll have him as a special guest to break down and preview SmackDown with us. So, and he won't be swearing.
SmackDown and Crown Jewel.
And Crown Jewel. Okay, very good point. Yes.
It's a hell of a Friday. I'll be back on Monday. But until then, on behalf of an Italian stereotype dressed like an Italian stereotype, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpolis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Hey, let's go.